Here's an unfortunate truth. It looks like I'm not gonna get my shots. Really bums me out though, because if I could do this every single day and not have, like, this was my full time, I know I'd be getting those shots. I wouldn't mind getting up at 5 in the morning, getting out here every day. That would be great, honestly.
What is up, people of YouTube? Welcome to another day in paradise. For those of you guys who are new, welcome. My name is Cody McCarty. It's safe to assume if you're watching this video, you're at least a little interested in wildlife photography or learning a little more about it. Now, I don't know any other form of photography that comes even close to being as difficult as wildlife photography. I'm not trying to undermine the struggles of any other forms of photography. They each present their own challenges. But to get a truly exceptional wildlife photo, there's a lot that you have to do and there's a lot that you can't control.
Normally, I have to choose between vlogging and photography, but I'm gonna try walking around with my big old tripod and talking to you guys and send it down when I go to photograph whatever I see. But visibility is not great. Just in case I didn't clarify how poor visibility is, that gives you a good example. We're not even by the water yet. So I'm already seeing a lot of birds. I've heard a couple osprey. I think I heard a peregrine falcon. So it's really cool. I'm starting to memorize some of these animals and their calls and their sounds and stuff. So that's exciting. This setting looks straight out of a horror film. I love it. Depending on if I see them up ahead, I might shoot some stills here, just in the meantime. Can't really see anything over the lake. I can see like little ducks right here, but that's about it. Now I don't know how long we're gonna have this fog for, so I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna capture some stills. No osprey here. He might be on the other side of the lake. It looked like I could kind of make out a larger bird, but who knows. Right now, looks like we're gonna have about an hour before it all clears up. I know I'm not looking at you guys, it's because I'm observing. You never know what you're gonna see out in nature, so it's good to be observant. Now I've been waiting close to about an hour for him. Fog is finally starting to clear up a little bit, but it's still not anywhere near cleared up. This is the glamorous life of a travel adventure photographer and wildlife photographer. Okay, so behind me I have a little surprise. A bunch of little birds ran scared. There's another bird of prey over here. It's a Cooper's hawk. This is something I love about adventure photography, is I did not expect to get the photo I just got. Sure, I didn't get the perfect shot, but these are some really cool photos that I did not expect to get. So that was really fun. Thought he was gonna attack me for a second there. That was a really cool surprise. And the osprey's still there waiting for me. I feel like we're gonna be waiting for him a while.
Already you can see a few variables that I had to deal with when I was out shooting. Weather affects all types of photography. It's an element that can either make a great photo or make it unusable. Luckily, weather forecasts are a thing, even though they're wrong more than I'd like them to be. The biggest challenge though that you're gonna notice when you're out shooting wildlife is you are on the animal's time. You can end up waiting hours for an animal to interact with its environment or do something that makes for a great photo and never end up getting the shot.
I've set out so many different times to take a photo of a particular animal or trying to find one, to never find it. And it's truly a mission to try and get those next level, award-winning, National Geographic level photos. There's also so many different factors that lead to having the opportunity to get next level wildlife photos. For example, winter right now, all the birds from up north are starting to migrate down, so we're getting a lot of different birds. They want this beautiful California weather. Can you blame them? Wildlife photography doesn't only take skill and the right equipment, it takes tenacity, it takes a little bit of luck, it takes being out in unpredictable weather. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know how these animals are gonna interact with one another. And that's kind of the thrill of it too, is each day presents a new challenge, a new opportunity to get an amazing one-of-a-kind photo. Today, for example, I have 2 peregrine falcons up here. I have a red-tailed hawk bouncing around right over here. I have an osprey standing on his perch. Any of these animals could do nothing, or they could do something. I mean, just the other day, I wasn't able to fully capture it because it was so dark, but peregrine falcons were going after red-tailed hawks, Cooper's hawks. You never know, and getting them interacting with each other really helps step up your wildlife photos. That's another thing. The more you do it, the more you familiarize yourself with these animals, their cries, their habits, so that when those opportune moments come, you have the opportunity to capture them. Right now, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on. We have tons of activity over here. I mean, pelicans are right next to the shore, diving for fish. See, if I hadn't come out this morning, I wouldn't have saw that. That is so cool to see all those birds up in the morning, getting their food, just flying by. It's an awesome thing. Like this morning, I've never seen so many different types of birds and so much diversity and abundance. You never know what you're gonna get. I think I'm gonna be hitting up these wetlands a lot more now. Let's photograph these guys. See, this is why I have this camera on the tripod, is you never know. I set it down really quick. This osprey took off. I'm not gonna review the photos because I think he's getting ready to eat. He kind of did a little dive, and I just want to be ready for that right now. But this is what I'm talking about. Be observant, be here, go out, try it. That's more important than having the gear. Obviously, high frame rates on cameras and telephoto lenses really help, and we'll get into that in a minute. But getting out at sunrise to try and capture this, that's what's gonna set your photos apart and help you get the best wildlife photo you've ever gotten. Now, something that gets really difficult is when you watch them, you think they're gonna hunt here, or you think they're gonna stay here. Birds can get around fast, unlike bears and stuff like that, which can get around fast and you don't want to get too close to, but a bird could end up on the other side of the lagoon to hunt, and that's what happened. Luckily for me, not for him, he missed 4 dives, and I fired off a couple just to show you guys just what could have been an amazing shot had he done it where I'd hoped he would do it. Like, I'd positioned myself well. If he did it, it should be good light, it should be great, and that's why you gotta try and come out as frequently as possible. Little bastard. You can be prepared and do everything right, but these wild animals, they are, they're wild. They can make their own decisions, so you never know where they're gonna end up. After a certain point, you just have to call it. I'm giving up on the osprey for now. I'm moving to the other side of the lagoon for better light and to see what else is out there, you know? There's gonna be other days and he can dive right now and I wouldn't get it, but that's that's the pain of wildlife photography. Welcome to the party. The lighting on this side is so much better. I'm gonna have my back to the sun. My subjects are gonna be lit up a lot better. I might even be able to slap on a 2x teleconverter. I'm gonna start getting a little quieter because there's a ton of photographers over here. That's something you wanna be mindful of it and be observant. You'll see photographers out here, you'll see them clustered together, and you know they are seeing something that you are not, and you probably wanna go check it out.
Now let's take a minute to talk about gear. What I think is the pinnacle, the top, the creme de la creme. Did I say that right? Let's talk about the A7R4. The A7R4 is 61 megapixels, so flexibility in post, you got it. It shoots 10 frames per second, so that's capturing the action for sure. Sure, it's not the A9 20 frames per second, but 10 frames per second is pretty much guaranteed. You're gonna get a good shot. The 61 megapixels is gonna make for a much sharper image, and sometimes when you don't think, I wish I was a little bit tighter, I wish it was a little more frame filling, you have that ability. Even in APS-C mode, the A7R4 has 26 megapixels. Not just that, the autofocus points now cover the entire frame. So you're guaranteed to get autofocus from every edge of the frame. The lens that I use is my 100 to 400 G Master. I am considering renting the 200 to 600 to do a comparison and review between the two because I haven't been able to find one that I really like. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. I will rent it, I will test it out because I really want to see if its resolving power is enough for the 61 megapixels in the A7R IV. I occasionally will slap on the 2x teleconverter. The awesome thing is the 2x teleconverter with the 100 to 400 and A7R IV, I still get continuous autofocus and eye autofocus with it, and I get the full 10 frames per second. So I'm not sacrificing much, except maybe a little bit of image quality loss. I don't notice a significant enough amount to not use it and just choose to crop in instead. I did do an in-depth review of it. I'm gonna link to it up here. 2x teleconverters in general, it's kind of luck of the draw depending on the one you got. I returned the old one I had, I got another one, returned that one, then finally got one that I considered sharp enough for my photo. So not all teleconverters are unfortunately manufactured exactly the same, but you can get sharp images even with the 2x teleconverter. There are other reasons why I also chose the A7R IV is the weather sealing. The weather sealing has been greatly improved by Sony. I love it. I'm a Sony fanboy at heart, so I am biased towards Sony products, but I do not knock Canon and Nikon products. It's not so much the gear, it's how you use it. It's being tenacious, getting out there every day, and capturing those photos that's gonna make for exceptional photos, and seeing it, the gear just helps. They are tools. Well, there you have me rambling about wildlife photography and some of the gear options that you have. You're gonna have to do your homework on lenses and cameras if you aren't choosing the A7R IV, which in my opinion is the best wildlife camera in 2019. I have a preference towards the higher megapixels and sacrificing those extra frames. I really think I'm gonna rent the 200 to 600 regardless of if it's a video you guys want me to make, just because I really wanna see how that lens does, because I do wish I had a little bit more reach than the 100 to 400. The internal zoom is a good selling factor, but the fact that that lens is bigger than this lens fully extended is not a great selling point for me. Because the reason this fits in my backpack so well is because of that. Until the next video, I'll see you guys around. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did.